Joining us now is Ambassador Michael Oren, the former Israeli ambassador to the United States. Ambassador, always a pleasure to see you. I thank you. With Israel heading further south, and we were just listening to, Richard's story there, the U.S. Secretary of Defense says that Israel faces strategic defeat unless it protects more civilians in Gaza. Does Israel face a possible strategic defeat?
Good morning. Good to be with you, Jose. And there was an excellent reporting by Richard Engel, as always. And it's important to stress, again, that millions of Israelis were under rocket fire, including my own neighborhood in Tel Aviv. Hamas has fired well over 10,000 rockets. And we also have displaced people. We have 250,000 displaced people who can't go back to their homes because Hamas remains a strategic threat to the state of Israel. So there's another side to this story. A strategic threat? I don't call it a strategic threat. There's certainly grave political and certainly diplomatic political challenges facing Israel here. Hamas is hiding behind this population. Israel has to destroy Hamas in order to restore its security, in order to, if we don't destroy Hamas, large swaths of the state of Israel will simply be rendered uninhabitable. We have really no choice. And I think, as Richard Engel mentioned, when the Palestinian civilian population moved from the north to the south, Hamas went with it and is continuing to use this population as a human shield. So we have really no choice. Secretary Blinken was in Israel this week, and he gave us sort of a dual instruction, which may not be compatible. He says he wants Israel to expedite the operation in Gaza, at the same time to reduce as much as possible civilian casualties. But of course, if you go faster, the number of civilian casualties would probably go up, not down. So it's a tremendous, tremendous challenge for Israeli military commanders, for political decision makers all around, because we do very much want to stay on the same page with the United States.
Yeah, and Ambassador, over the weekend you posted about the horrors of what Hamas carried out, not only during the 7th of October massacre, but since then. What are you hearing?
Oh, what's coming out now are the hostages beginning to talk about what they went through, whether they were branded and blinded, talking about young children being shown the clips from those GoPro cameras that were held on the chests and helmets of Hamas terrorists while they were dismembering and burning and raping, and showing these to little kids over and over again. We're just beginning to understand the long-term effects to vision of being held in darkness for 50 days. So deep emotional and physical torture by Hamas. It's difficult to explain all this, and this is what we're dealing with, and why we have to eliminate it. And by the way, it's not just for Israel; it's for the Palestinians themselves. As long as Hamas is ruling the Gaza Strip, there's no hope for the Gaza Strip, and there's no hope for peace.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people, and 1.7, 1.9 million who have been displaced in an area that has about 2.1 million total population. That's almost the entirety of the population. That's saying, listen, we're not the people who carried out that October 7th massacre, but we are suffering very much as a consequence of that.
Well, we're not going to get into the degree to which the people of Gaza supported Hamas. Hamas was quite popular, and the recent poll shows that it actually remains quite popular. But let's leave it aside. No one wants to see innocent people hurt at all. But we have to stress again and again that Hamas is using this population as a human shield. It's actually moving with the refugees to the south and continuing to hide behind them. And Israel has no choice. As simple as that. Hamas succeeds. Hamas survives this war. There's no hope for the return of normal life and security to Israel, and there's no hope for peace with the Palestinians. It's that simple. And Jose, I've been around a long time. I've been involved in the peace process for 30 years. We all forget that in 2007, when Hamas took over the Gaza Strip, its first victims were the Palestinians who supported peace. They threw 600 of them off rooftops. It's not as if these people are supporting the two-state solution. They're not. They're going to kill anybody who does. They're that type of terrorist organization. And so I deeply believe that this is a war not just against Hamas. It's a war for civilization, but it's certainly a war for peace.
Ambassador Michael Oren, I thank you very much for being with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good day.